Hi everyone, it's Gwen from Rustic Diva Design with a new video for you. First of all, let me apologize. I am still recovering from a nasty cold that I've had for a couple weeks now, but I'll try to get through this tutorial without too much coughing. That's why I waited so long to post, because I was trying to recover before I did this video, but it's been a long time, so here we are. This video is going to consist of a few things. We're going to do the walkthrough for this album. I'm going to talk about the paper collection that I used and where to find it, and then we'll do the tutorial. So let's get into, first of all, let's talk about the paper collection. This is something new for you guys. I created this paper collection here that you're going to see throughout this album. I've created an Etsy shop, so it is available on my Etsy shop. I will admit this is my first time doing something like this, creating digital paper, so it's priced fairly cheap because it's my first run at it. So if you guys want to purchase it, my shop name is on Etsy is Rustic Diva Design Shop. I will link it in the tutorial of this video. I couldn't use Rustic Diva Design by itself because it was already taken on Etsy, so I will link the shop in this video if you're interested in purchasing this paper collection. Otherwise, you do not have to. You can use whatever paper collection you'd like for this tutorial. But let me just show you the papers that are included so you get an idea. So this is one of the first ones with the blue background. I did create these papers, and I don't know why I did it this way, in 12 by 12, but I'll get into the printing and all that at the end. So let's just look at the paper. Here's the blue, and then every colored paper has an identical design with a white background. So this is that same design with the white, and then this is an orange, and then that same design in the white. This is, when I created this one here, I wanted it to be more of a taupe color, the background, but on my printer, it prints out this, it looks greenish on mine. So just keep in mind that all printers are not created equal, that's for sure. So when you're printing, and the colors, you know, they might not come out exactly how they look online or on the site. That's been my experience with this color here. So just keep that in mind, but it works for this project, so it's okay. And then this is the white background. And then a green with some flower background there. And then the white. And then a pink with some dragonflies. And then the white background with the dragonflies. And then these are just some extras. The images are a little bit larger. I just threw them in there because I did end up using some of these larger images too. So this is all part of the bundle package that you'll get when you purchase, if you purchase this paper collection. So the water cans and bees in yellow, and then in white. And then there's this one, which is kind of like a, it looks kind of grayish. I meant it to be a little bit more of a lavender, but this is how it printed out on mine with the ants. And then that's in white. And then I also created some cut aparts, some 4x6s here, and then this little cut apart. And then here's some more cut aparts and a little element there. And then you have some 3x4s with the daisies. And some more 3x4s, and then some more little elements here. This blue, it doesn't match exactly with this blue here or some of the blues in the paper collection. You can cut this off if you don't want to use it, or you can make it work or use it for something else. So there's always a way. Same with this one here, and then some just 3x3s. And some more, just some cutouts here. So you'll get all that in this whole collection. I think I have it priced for like $2.39. So it is a digital download. Please keep that in mind. Digital download means you print it yourself. So when you're on Etsy, you purchase the paper collection. You get a link in the email that you used when you registered for the Etsy shop or for Etsy. And then you'll get a link to download all of these items in this bundle, okay? And then you print them yourself at home, or you can take them to a print shop or a office supplies shop and have them printed. So I do not have a 12x12 printer. I have an 8.5x11 printer. This is how these turned out for me when I printed mine on 8.5x11 pieces of paper. You still have this little white border. To me, that's okay. It doesn't matter. I just cut it off and use the paper. I'll show you the paper that I printed on. I bought this from Amazon. Let me get it here. It's 65-pound white cardstock, Nina Bright White. And again, I found it on Amazon. So I printed the papers right through for my printer onto this white cardstock from Amazon. And then you have your scrapbook paper to use in your project. If you have any questions about that, please ask me in the comments. I'll do my best to answer you as soon as I can. Okay, so let's do a walkthrough of the album. This is a 7x7 album with a 2-inch spine. So let's just go through. Here is one of the cut-aparts I used. This is paper from the collection. This yellow in the background is just from my stash. I used a couple of different colors in the album, and you'll see that. There's nothing popped up on this cover. I just double matted everything, glued it down, and then these flowers are from my stash. I did ink the edges of the paper, and I also inked the edges of the flowers using the Tim Holtz Distress ink in Vintage Photo. That's the color I used. And then on the spine, oh, I'm sorry, there's also some little enamel dots on the cover here in little places. And then I know I always say this, I use my glitter pen on the spring here, and it's always hard to see in the video. Anyway, so here's the spine with some enamel dots along the edge there. And then the back, I just used another paper and double matted it with the yellow. So this is the inside front cover. It has a cut apart that I just double matted that can be used as a photo mat, and then a pocket and a flap here. And then inside, I just added a photo mat and a little, I don't know, photo booklet, I guess you could say. Inside the pocket, you can add whatever you'd like inside these pockets here. And then there's no magnet. It just is held closed by this cut apart here. Page 1 is a flap with one of the cut aparts here. It is held down with a magnet, but the magnet is on this side, right down here, and on the pocket right in here. And I'll show you how to do that. It's actually right there, I guess. So just a pocket with a larger photo mat and then one of the cut aparts from the collection. Let's sneak that back in here. I made this as big as I could to fit the pocket. And there. And then on the next page, this is just a page with a top flap and some photo mats here. Up here just decorated with a photo mat, and then again decorated with a photo mat and some of the paper here. And no magnet on this one. Page 2 is the belly band page. So as I was going along using this paper collection, I also just started to use up some scraps. So that's why this little piece of blue here is on the side, decorated on the side like that. And then here's the belly band. And then inside the belly, these are in the belly band, just these little photo booklets like this. So I just tuck that in like that. And then this one also just tucks in like so, or however you want to put them in there. And then the next page is just a flap and a pocket with just an area for a photo on this side. This is not held down by a magnet. You could if you'd like, but I didn't do it because I didn't think it needed it. It looks okay. And then the next page is a pocket page on top with just this little card, no card on the front. It's tucked in. And then this opens like this. And also it opens like that. So you have a good flap here with a photo mat. This flap. Inside the pocket I put another little booklet, photo booklet if you like, or for notes or journaling. And then this is held down by a magnet on this flap here and this pocket. And then the last page is just another flap held down with a magnet on this cut apart here. So it opens just to a photo mat at the top, and then just a piece of the scrapbook paper. This was an accident. I somehow got glue on this yellow piece of paper and it tore. So I just covered it up with a little piece of scrap that I had. You could double mat it if you wanted to. I meant it just to stay yellow, just to match the top flap here. But whatever, it was just a mistake. No one will know. The magnet is here and on this cut apart. And then the front and back covers, the inside front and back covers are identical. So here is another cut apart that holds this flap down, and then inside is the flap with the pocket and another photo mat and another little photo holder card thing inside. So again, in these pockets you could stuff them with whatever you'd like. And there we go. So let's get into the tutorial. We're going to leave this album here as a guide. First of all, let me tell you the measurements for the cover and the spine again. So you'll need 2 pieces of chipboard. I'm not going to do the cover. I have a lay flat cover method tutorial. I will link it in this video so that you can reference it. So the measurements I give you for this album, use these measurements if you're making this album, but follow the directions on how to construct the cover in the lay flat cover method video, okay? So you'll have 2 pieces of chipboard for the front and back that measure 7 by 7, and then the spine is 2 by 7, okay? So those are the chipboard pieces that you need for the cover. In the lay flat cover method tutorial, I show you how to cover this chipboard with your solid cardstock. So the measurements for the solid cardstock are, you'll need to cover the chipboard, You'll need 2 pieces that are 9 by 9, and I used white Artisan cardstock from Country Craft Creations to cover my chipboard. So 2 pieces of 9 by 9 and 1 piece of at 5 by 9, and that's the 5 by 9 is to cover the spine, and you'll see that in the tutorial to cover the chipboard while you're making the cover, excuse me. And then in the inside, so before all the pages are in and everything's in, you know, we cover the spine nicely to reinforce the spine, and that piece of solid cardstock to cover the inside spine is 5.5 by 6 7/8, okay? Alrighty, so let's get to page 1 of the album. So I'll just call these page 1A, page 1B. So we're making, first of all, we'll do the covers last. We're gonna do this page first with the flap and the pocket. So to make the pages, you're going to need a piece of solid cardstock that measures 7 1/4 by 6 1/2. And you'll need 3 of these. All the pages are the same size, okay? 7 1/4 by 6 1/2. You're gonna score on the 7 1/4 inch side at 1/2 and 3/4. So let me grab the scoreboard and we'll get to it. So here is your page 1A with the 7 1/4 inch side at the top. Right here, you're gonna score at 1/2 and 3/4, and that's gonna make our page, okay? We're gonna do the L hinge or the waterfall page method, whatever you want to call it, and I'll show you how to do that. So we're not making an extra hinge. This 1/2 inch on the side of your page is going to be your hinge that you glue to your spine. So we're going to start by folding on our score lines. So what we're doing is we're making the 1/2 inch piece for the hinge, and then we're also making a 1/4 inch gusset so that we have room to fill up our pages with photos and photo mats and stuff in the inside, so it gives a little room for bulk. Okay, so this is what your page looks like. Your page is going to measure 6 1/2 by 6 1/2 when you're all done folding on your score lines. Okay, so now we're going to make, so you have your page, and now we're going to make this right flap, and that is going to be a piece of solid cardstock that measures 5 1/2 by 6 1/2, and at the 5 1/2 inch side at the top, which I did it this way, score at 1/2 and 3/4. So we're giving a little bit of a gusset to the flap as well. So we're folding on these score lines again. And then when I make a flap, I like to just miter the, here we are, sorry, miter the corners, not only on the 1/2 inch part, not the gusset, okay? So the 1/2 inch flap right here, just give that a little miter, and then we're gonna glue this. Before you do any decorating with scrapbook paper, you're gonna glue this to this page. So let's do that. I have a brand new glue bottle and it is full, so I have to be extra careful here. So just adding glue. To just that 1/2 inch portion, and then we're gonna, because this is gonna go on the right hand side of the page, we're gonna glue it. I'm just gonna turn it so that I can see and line things up. And again, I use practice paper when I'm showing you tutorials, so my paper is gonna be a little bit more flimsy than what you would normally use when you're using nice cardstock to make your albums. Okay, so there's the flap. And then it has this little gusset here, so then it looks like this when you're done, when you glue it on. I got the sun coming in. Let me fix that. Give me 1 second here. I'll fix it. There. Okay. So here's that gusset. And then we're just going to now make a pocket like so. So you'll need, and that goes on this side. So the measurements for the pocket is 3 by 7.5, and then you'll score at 1/2 inch on all 3 sides. So you'll have 3 by 7.5 inch paper, score at 1/2, turn it, score at 1/2, turn it again, score at 1/2. Okay, and then to make the pocket, I mean, everybody knows their own way of making pockets. This is how I do it. So I'm just cutting, I'm gonna go right through this little X here on the score line to just miter this. And I might have to do that just a little bit more. And then the same thing on this side, just going through that. And then I like to miter the top ones also. Okay, so then folding on your score lines. On 3 sides. Okay, so the pocket's gonna go on your page 1 in the inside, and I always do a dry fit. I also check to see that my, where I cut, nothing's gonna hit. It kind of is right here, so I'm just gonna give that an extra little snip. Just because I don't want it to hit. And then again, just checking to see that everything is okay and it looks fine. Okay, so when I do a pocket lately, I like to glue this down. First, again, dry fit to make sure that everything fits, because you don't want this butting up to your, you want it to be able to fold, so you don't want it on your score lines, okay? So you're just making it fit this way and on this side. So I have a little bit of an overhang here, and I'm just gonna fix that. And again, it's because I'm using this paper that's not as heavy, so things don't go exactly how they would if you're using some good quality cardstock. So I'm just giving that another little fold so that it fits, and then again, I will miter that off. So again, dry fitting and just lining this up so that it doesn't butt up to your score line over here. So I'm just going to glue the bottom flap of this pocket first, because remember, we're going to decorate the inside. And I'll show you. So I'm just putting this pocket, well, trying to put this pocket all the way to the edge of the bottom page here at the bottom of the page. And my pocket is going to show a little bit crooked, and that's, but it won't be when you do this with your nice paper, okay? So before you decorate, see in here how we have this page decorated? I don't use a full sheet of scrapbook paper because you don't need to go all the way down on your pocket, okay? Because what helps is when you glue this flap down, take a piece of tape and just tape your, put a piece of tape across your flap that you glued, and then that will make it easier for sliding things in and out of your pocket, okay? Now, you're going to decorate this page with whatever scrapbook paper you choose. So put your pattern paper down, and then after your pattern paper is down, glue your sides of your pocket and glue your pocket up, and then you're done, and then you can decorate your pocket. Okay? So pretend we have scrapbook paper or pattern paper here. You're going to want to do that first. Remember, before you glue this pocket down, I'm just gluing it down so that it can be out of my way to show you the rest of the tutorial. Okay, so now we're going to work on this flap here. Has a magnet. I don't want to use magnets on my practice or this for the tutorial. So I'm going to show you here how to put your magnets on. So before you decorate on this side of the flap and your pocket, you're going to put a magnet here, not there. So your magnet's going to go, am I in here? Okay, not here. So I always mark this side first. You know, use your finger, put it, because it's going to go on the pocket. So figure out where and give yourself enough room to where your pattern paper can cover it up. So about here, and then about right here is where your magnet's going to go. Okay? Pardon me for just a second here. All right, so that is page 1A. Page 1B is just a simple top flap. I'm just putting the cover on my glue here so we don't have a disaster. Like so. So I'll give you the measurements for that right at now. So this is page 1B. The top flap, you'll need a piece of solid cardstock that measures 6 3/8 by 7. And then on the 7-inch side at the top, you're going to score at 1/2 and 3/4. We're going to give the flap, you know, the 1/2 inch for the flap and then a little bit of a gusset. So again, fold on your score lines. And then miter, because I like to miter my flaps just on that 1/2 inch portion there. And now, because this is, I wrote it this way, we're gonna glue it to the top of the page. And so, do you see, now here's your hinge. If this is in your way while you're working, just fold it out of the way. That's what I do. You can still see where your marks are. Okay, and we're just gonna glue this to the top of the page, like so. Okay, so let's do that. Just on that 1/2 inch portion, and you're leaving that 1/4 inch gusset. And then just lining it up, and then so that you're not putting it on your score lines. Okay, and then just glue it down. And then you have this, And then your little gusset here, I'm just gonna fix it so it looks like it's supposed to. Like so. Okay, and then all I did on this page is I just decorated it with a piece of pattern paper, piece of pattern paper, and then I put a photo mat on the outside. You can decorate however you'd like. And then in the inside it just has, oh I got glue somewhere. Glue's coming out somewhere. Anyway, sorry. Photo mats on the top and the bottom there. Like so. Okay? I gotta figure out where all this glue is coming out. I keep finding it. I don't see it. Okay, so that is page 1, A and B completed. Okay, so moving on to page 2A, that is with the belly band. I'll remove those so we can see. So again, you have the same size page as we made for the other ones. I'm just, again, putting the cover on my glue here. Thank you. Otherwise, sorry, see, look at glue on my finger. Where is it coming from? It's coming from my glue bottle. I see that now. Okay, so let me just take care of that. Excuse me. You know, always a blooper. Okay. So page 2A, again, we make the same size as all the other pages. 7 1/4 by 6 1/2, and on the 7 1/4 inch side at the top, you score at 1/2 and 3/4. 1/2, 3/4. Okay, so just folding on your score lines, and this is just making your page 2 now. So page 2A has just a simple belly band. So the belly band measures a piece of solid cardstock 1 1/2 by 7 3/8, and then you're going to score a 1/2 inch on each end here. So a 1/2 inch and a 1/2 inch. Okay, and then to attach the belly band, just fold on your score lines, and then I like to miter again, just that little bit, just to get rid of some bulk. Now, when you attach a belly band, you can either put it on first and then sneak your paper inside and glue it down that way. I don't like to mess around like that. So I decorate my page first, and then I just tack the belly band down right on top of it. It works just fine, in my opinion, but however you want to do it. So make sure that your page is the right way. Here's the hinge side. And then we are just going to eyeball this top to bottom and glue it on. This looks like it's a little short. I don't know why. Again, this practice paper, it never works out exactly, but when you use nice paper, again, it's gonna turn out great. So just gluing, I'm just gonna glue both. Just on your little flaps. Pin back in the glue. And then I just eyeball top to bottom. And glue it down. Okay. And then you can decorate your belly band however you'd like. And if you want to make little cards like I did to put in the inside, that is wonderful. So they'll just slip in here like so. Maybe. However you want to do that. Okay, so that's just it. Simple belly band on page 2A. Page 2B is the pocket and the flap. So we're going to make this flap and we're going to make this pocket here. So turning this over now, page 2B has the right pocket and a right flap, left pocket. Okay, so let's start with the right flap. You'll need a piece of solid cardstock that measures 4.5 by 6. And so with the 4.5 inch side at the top of your scoreboard, you could score it at 4, or if you want to, turn it and score it a half. That's what it's always just habit for me to score it at a 1/2 inch. Okay, so it's going to be on the right hand side. So we're just going to fold this over. Again, I like to miter a little bit. And then I'm going to move my hinge out of the way. Excuse me. And we're just going to glue this down right to the edge and then also centering it top to bottom. So it'll look like this. You're putting it right up to this score line, not quite. So it has some room to move, and then centering it top to bottom at the top and the bottom of the page. So let me do that. I'm going to turn it so that I can see my score lines and get that where I want it. Not quite to the score line there, just leaving a little room for movement. Okay, and then just tacking that down. And there you have it. There's your flap. And then we have a pocket that goes on the left-hand side. So the pocket measures 3.5 by 7.5, and again you're scoring a 1/2 inch on 3 sides to make your pocket, and then mitering the corners. And folding on the score lines. And then I'm just checking to see if everything works, and it does. And then now we take our page, and this pocket is going to go like this. Like so. So I'm just going to turn this so I can glue it. And line it up nicely right at the edge of the page here. And then again, when you before you glue out your pocket all the way down, put your tape across the bottom here, right across the bottom to get rid of this little bump, and then put your pattern paper in and then glue the pocket the rest of the way down. Okay, and again, there's no magnet on here. So this is page 2B. Okay, finished with that. We have the belly band on 2A and the flap in the pocket on 2B. Okay, moving on to page 3. Again, hang on a second with the pin and the glue. And it's becoming a little bit more difficult for some reason. There we go. Okay, see, more glue on my fingers. Page 3A is a flap with a pocket on the outside of this flap and then an inside pocket on the page, okay? So to make this flap, first, let's make the flap that's going to open this way and this way, okay? So let's do that first. Again, you have your same size page. Which is 7 1/4 by 6 1/2. So start with that first. 3A. Okay, sorry, I'm getting organized here, or trying to. Okay, so sorry, start with your page, 7 1/4 by 6 1/2, and with the 7 1/4 at the top, you score it at 1/2 and 3/4 to make your page. So let's do that. Folding on the score lines to make your hinge and your gusset. Okay, so here we are, page 3A, and now on to the flap that's going to connect to the right side of your page. So we have a piece of solid cardstock that measures 10 1/2 by 6 1/2. Sorry for my scribbles there. And so with the 10 1/2 inch side at the top, this is how I figured it out. We're going to score at 1/2 inch and at 6 inches, okay? But when we fold it, we have to fold it. First, you can fold it this way because this is where you're going to attach it to your page. So fold at the 1/2 inch. And then, because I know it's going to go this way, now the paper that I wrote on is upside down. Okay? So we're going to fold this in, like so. Okay? And then this piece is going to attach to the right side of your page. So, again, mitering. And then, excuse me, again, one more time. A little intermission here. Thanks for putting up with me, you guys, when I have this cold going on. I mean, I waited as long as I possibly could to do this video, but it was taking forever, and honestly, I'm like, people are gonna start forgetting about me if I don't get a video on YouTube one of these days. So here we are again. My apologies for my scratchy voice and coughing and sniffling. Okay, so we're gonna attach this flap to, because it's gonna be on the right hand side of the page. Glue just the we only have a 1/2 inch this time. Glue this portion. I'm gonna turn it again so that I can see what I'm doing. And just lining it up right to the edge of the page and top to bottom so that it's even. Okay, and once you have it where you think it looks good, glue it down. And so then we have this double flap here, like so. Okay? Then we're making a pocket for the outside of, yes, so this is the small pocket. So this pocket is going to, that goes on this right side flap, is 2 1/2 by 7 1/2, and we're going to score it on 3 sides, which it looks like I forgot to do that. So let's do that now. 1/2 inch, 1/2 inch. And if you want to just turn it around and do it that way, which I do a lot of time, another 1/2. Okay? So again, making a pocket, just cutting. I'm going to do that again. Excuse me. and mitering the tabs. So I don't know if where you guys live, if all this junk, this stuff is going around, but I live in Minnesota, and let me tell you, this is one of the strangest winters we have ever had. Normally by this time of year, we've had several days of below 0 temperatures. We have seen none of that. None. So I have this upside down. It's been unseasonably warm here for winter, and it's weird. So I blame a lot of that on all these viruses or colds or whatever sicknesses going around. It hasn't been cold enough to freeze out all the germs. Okay, so this pocket is going to attach to your little flap here like so. Okay, so again, just gluing this, and we're making the pockets identical throughout this whole album. So gluing that long flap down first and just getting it right to the edge of the page there. Okay. Then, as you can see, put your pattern paper down, then glue your pocket down, and then decorate your pocket, okay? So that is that flap. Let's open this up. And let's just do the other pocket here on the inside of the page right here. While I have that. So this pocket here is 3 by 7.5. And again, scoring a 1/2 inch on 3 sides to make a pocket. Excuse me. So as I was saying, it's warm here for winter in where I live, and it's just crazy because usually my husband and I like to go ice fishing. Like we usually were fishing all winter long in our fish house. We camp out on the frozen lake for the weekend and catch fish, and it's one of our most favorite things in the whole world to do. And we've only been able to go, it's February now, we've only been able to go 2 times, and that was in January. So we're pretty sad that we can't be ice fishing like we normally are because it's too warm and the ice conditions are just not as safe as they should be. So we don't chance it. Okay, so this pocket is going on this page like so. Again, if your hinge is in your way, just move it, unfold it so that you can see your lines. And then we're just going to put this in between these 2 score lines here. And if you need to adjust your pocket, there's nothing wrong with that, so that it fits. I've had to do it. It's okay. Okay, so just gluing this down. Right to the bottom. On the long flap. And then again, decorate your page, and then glue your pocket down and decorate your pocket. Okay, so just to keep this out of the way, again, I'm going to glue this down so that I can continue on with these flaps here, and this pocket will be out of our way. Okay, so pretend we decorated that. Okay, so these 2 flaps, oh, hold please. Before you decorate this pocket, make sure that you have a magnet down here. So the magnet is going to go here and on your pocket. So again, I'm showing you, sorry if I'm getting this. So the magnet is, go like this with your finger, shut it, shut this flap, and then again, just eyeball your with your finger or something. The magnet is about here. Just making sure that you're leaving enough room so that you can cover the magnet with your papers. Okay, so on here, when I close this up, this is getting a little out of hand because I did it kind of funky here. Oh, something's funky. Why? What happened? All right, let's see. I don't know what happened, but my page is crooked. Your page is not going to be crooked, so keep that in mind. When I glued this down, something happened, but we can fix it just for the purposes of the tutorial. Okay, it'll be okay. So we're going to fold this over, and it's going to be on this part of your flap, your magnet. It's going to go like over here, okay? So just use your finger to mark, and then like so. So the magnet on the pocket is going to be about right here, and then, you know, right here. So you put one side of your magnet down, obviously, put the other one down, ta-da, okay? So now we have page 3A finished, and then you can decorate your flaps how you like. Oh, I see what's happening because this pocket is in my way. Okay. That's why it's all goofy, sort of. No, that isn't why. Okay, so the magnet, we got all that. Close that up. You're good to go. This is your page, and that's what it's going to look like this. If you have any questions, please ask me. I know I'm just kind of flying through some of these things. Okay, let's do page 3B, and all this is a top flap. Okay, just like this. So turning all this over, make sure you have your hinge on this side now. And to make this flap, we are going to need a piece of solid cardstock that measures 5.5 by 6 3/8. So with the 5.5 inch side at the top, we're just going to score at 1/2 to make this top flap. And then again, oops, let's just fold first. And then mitering. And then we're going to glue this to the top of the page. And I made these flaps just a little bit shorter so that you have room to work with for your hinge side of your page and the outside of your page. So this is the hinge side, so it's going to fit in between there. So just center that up when you're gluing on your top flap for this page here. It gives us a little room to work with. So it's going to be like a smidge and a smidge on each side. And I'll try to show you this here when I glue this down. So here's your top flap. As you can see, kinda, we have, you know, just this little bit here and then just this little bit here of extra room so that it doesn't butt up exactly to this score line. If you want to round the corners on these flaps, you can also do that too. So I added a cut apart to this page. So before you decorate on the bottom here, you're going to put your magnets down. A magnet and then a magnet on your cut apart, and then that's going to be what holds it shut. If you want to do a magnet on this flap, you could, but this is how I did it. So make sure that you have that before you decorate your page. Okay, so that is page 3A and B all completed. And now let's get to the inside covers. So the inside, back, and front are made the exact same way. So I'm just gonna leave this open to the back. We're gonna make a pocket and a top flap for the inside covers. So what you're gonna need is, for the flap, you're going to need a piece that's 5 by 6 7/8, and with the 5-inch side at the top, like so, score at a 1/2 inch, and that makes your top flap. And for the pocket, you'll need a piece that's 3 by 7 7/8, and again, score a 1/2 inch on 3 sides to make the pocket. So I'm gonna make the flap first. It doesn't actually. What I'm gonna do is make the pocket first, and I'll tell you why. Because you might need to make adjustments depending on, you know, your everybody's cutter. Your paper cutter might not be exactly like mine or someone else's, or, you know, something might be off, but I'll show you in a second here. So let's just get this pocket made. And again, the pocket is made and constructed the same exact way for the whole entire album. You're gonna miter and then glue down, you know, this flap here to your page, decorate, and then glue up the pocket. So what I'm saying is, do your pocket first. So glue this piece down, glue this down, okay? Glue this part down first in your book on the back cover, like so. And then just leave that for a second, okay? Because when we add this flap, as you can see, what I have done is I have made this flap like come directly to the top of this pocket. So if you have to make adjustments before you glue this pocket all the way down, you're gonna know, okay? So do your pocket first, then the flap. So let's get the flap made. Again, 5 by 6 7/8 and scoring at a 1/2 inch. Mitering just those corners there. So before I glue this down, actually, and then we're gonna round these corners, and I did bring my corner rounder, yes. 1/4 inch, so I want to just round that. It's gonna make it easier to grasp inside your book because they're so close together. So what I'm saying is, once your pocket is down, like so, just dry fit your flap so that it's not going inside your pocket, okay? So this will work, okay? So I'm just dry fitting. So then you're gonna glue, before you decorate the inside, glue your pocket down, or I'm sorry, your flap and your pocket. Then you can cover with your papers, okay? So we have this flap and this pocket. And that's what you're gonna do for both inside covers, okay? Whoops, let me put this back. Now let me show you how to attach the pages to your spine. And I've done this several times. This is just a mock-up, a pretend spine. So we have a 2-inch spine, and you have this covered with some sort of either pattern paper, colored paper, whatever you want. Okay, so what I do is I measure from the edge of the colored paper to, oh, here's my ruler, to about 1/4 inch, and that's your guide to where you're gonna start putting your pages down. So I just made a little line as a guide, okay? And then you're going to have a little room here and here on each side after your pages are going to be glued down. Again, keep in mind, I'm using this flimsy paper, so it's a little harder to work with than the nicer stuff that you're going to use. So first of all, remember we have our hinge and we have this little gusset. We're only going to glue down this 1/2 inch hinge with no mitering. So do not miter your hinge corners here. Leave them straight, okay? So just to dry fit, this is what it's going to look like. So I'm going to start about right here. And then I usually just eyeball top to bottom. And I'm going to glue this down as straight as I can feel like I can get it onto the spine, okay? Like so. So let's do that. So on this 1/2 inch portion, add your glue. Line it up as best that you can, top to bottom, and with your little mark here, and try to get it, you know, you're trying to get it straight, obviously. And then you're just going to glue that down, open it up, and this is the part where you glued, okay? Excuse me. Oh, I'm sorry, and I should mention, start with page 1 and work your way to the following pages. So we started with page 1. Now we're going to take page 2, and we are going to glue this down. Again, this 1/2 inch is going to just butt right up next to the first hinge that you glued, just like so, okay? Like this, I'm sorry. Like so, okay? We're gonna put that right next to that hinge there. So take your glue, and then right next to your first hinge, you're gonna add this page just like that, leaving your gusset, line it up, and you're gonna have your covers as a guide to make sure that your pages are straight. That will help. And then just gluing that down like so. Page 3 is going to be a little bit different. So this is your hinge for page 3. We are going to glue this the opposite way. So take your hinge, fold it backwards. It's the easiest way I can explain it. Fold it backwards. Then excuse me, goodness. Sorry. We're going to attach that right on top of the page 2 hinge, leaving just a little bit of room so that you can fold your pages, okay? And I'll show you what that looks like. So making sure I have my page the right way. Make sure you have your page the right way. I'm going to add some glue. And then I'm going to put this down as even as I can, and I'm leaving some room here. And ta-da! Now, because I have to fold this, it looks like we have a lot of this extra, and you will have extra. If you want to go in a little bit farther than 1/4 inch from your colored paper, you can do that. But once everything is put together on your spine, it's going to look it's gonna look close, if not perfect, okay? But again, my paper's wonky. Everything is kind of sitting funny on the folds because this paper is thin. So you have this showing on this side, and then this looks like it's a little bit more, but I could have went in a little bit. So if you want to do that, just keep in mind, go in a little bit farther than a quarter of an inch. You could probably go in like 3/8 of an inch and make it work. Okay, and that's how you glue your pages in. After I glue all my pages in, I like to just leave my book set for a little while just to let everything sit and dry nice, so that nothing falls apart, obviously. Okay, all right, that's it, I believe. If I missed anything, please let me know in the comments. Again, thanks for putting up with me today and my scratchy voice. Again, I will leave some links in the video description where to find things. The link for my Etsy shop will be in there if you're interested in purchasing the paper that I used for this album. And that's it. So if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, I would appreciate that if you would do so. It helps me share all my ideas and projects with other people. And if you haven't joined our Rustic Diva Design mini albums and tutorials Facebook group, please do so, where you can share your own projects and ask questions there. You all are welcome, so just answer the questions to join the group and I'll approve you. And that's it. Any questions, please let me know in the comments. And as always, thank you for watching.